Stock markets tumbled worldwide after Greece closed its banks. There are still thousands of cars buried under snow. The charges against the company could eventually be dismissed altogether.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. CBS News has learned the president's plan will include hiring 230 new FBI agents to process background checks and create a budget to hire another 200 agents and investigators at the ATF. Powerball signs like this one are stuck at 999 million because they can't register into the billions. It's never been done before. Macy's, Walmart, and Target also opened this year on Thanksgiving Day. Bellevue is a designated Ebola treatment center in New York City. Las Vegas glitz and glamour to the Jersey Shore, but it never turned a profit. Wall Street rebounded today after a two-day sell-off. The Dow finished up 293 points. The Nasdaq gained nearly 114 points. Investors are keeping a close eye on the Federal Reserve. Later this month, members of the central bank will meet to consider raising interest rates. The Fed says its data shows a mixed economic picture. While housing and auto sales are strong, the slowdown in China is hurting manufacturing. The Fed will also look at the government's employment report out Friday. Today, payroll processor ADP reported solid job growth in the private sector, saying businesses added 190,000 jobs last month. Hulu is now offering a commercial-free version of its streaming service. The subscription will cost you $12, $4 more than its traditional service. Hulu is working to stay competitive with its rivals Netflix and Amazon. And Amazon is expanding its Dash Button service to all of its Prime members. The Amazon Gadget allows you to reorder products as you run out with the push of a button. The program now includes 500 products. The online retailer says the Dash service will cost $4.99, but it will reimburse customers after their first purchase. And that's your Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Brian Webb. Crews have been here working through the night, trying to make sure everyone is accounted for and trying to figure out what went wrong.
Notify Amtrak to shut down the entire northeast corridor.
Rescue teams searched through pieces of twisted metal and debris overnight, looking for anyone possibly trapped in the wreckage of Amtrak train 188. The train was traveling north from Washington, D.C. to New York City late Tuesday when all 7 of its cars derailed shortly after leaving Philadelphia's 30th Street station. At least 5 people were killed.
It is an absolute disastrous mess.
Keep crawling, okay?
238 passengers and 5 crew members were on board at the time. Many were able to crawl to safety, including New Jersey resident Jane Helfman and her son.
My son went back and got everybody off our one car. He helped them out.
More than 100 people were transported to area hospitals to be evaluated or treated for injuries.
There were concussions, a lot of muscular, skeletal injuries.
NTSB investigators will join emergency crews at the crash site behind me this morning to begin trying to piece together what happened.
They'll be interviewing the crew, doing a 72-hour history of those crew members, and of course they'll attempt to interview as many of the passengers as possible.
All Amtrak service on the Northeast Line between New York and Philadelphia is suspended. These trains have event recorders on board, like a black box on an airplane, one of many things that will be looked at during this investigation. Live in Philadelphia, I'm Brian Webb. Now back to you.
All right, Brian, thank you for the live report.
2 women who call themselves the Revel Twins wore matching T-shirts in tribute to the latest casino casualty in Atlantic City.
We were here from the beginning. We needed to be here at the end.
The nearly $2.5 billion Revel Casino will close Tuesday morning after going into bankruptcy twice since opening a little over 2 years ago. Revel's hotel closed Monday. Ronnie Dowling works at the resort but hasn't lost hope.
We know that we have to all come together, work out the problems, and get organized and move forward.
There are more losers. The Showboat Casino Hotel closed Sunday, and Trump Plaza will close later this month. A total of 4 casinos are shutting down this year, leaving 8,000 people out of work, almost a quarter of the city's casino employees. Revel was the hotel that was supposed to turn everything around. It was designed to bring Las Vegas glitz and glamour to the Jersey Shore, but it never turned a profit. Analysts say Revel alienated gamblers with a mostly smoke-free casino and no initial plan to offer Players Club benefits.
The high rollers didn't want to come here. They stayed wherever they were.
The Revel sign came down Monday. There's no sure bet on what's next for the building or the city. Brian Webb for CBS News, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
It's like a needle in a haystack.
Folsom Lake is so dry, treasure hunters now trek the land where fish used to tread water.
Just picked this thing out and decided to knock around and have a little fun.
I should be under 20 feet of water right now. Instead, this is what is left of Folsom Lake, looking more like the surface of the moon. It's below 20% capacity and 50% where it should be this time of year. The lake hasn't been this low since the late 70s, losing 1,700 square feet a day. Drastic measures may be on the horizon for the 500,000 people who drink, bathe, and water lawns from the lake's supply.
Our board will be considering a plan for implementing significant rationing if we don't get rain.
In the town of Folsom, mandatory 20% restrictions are now in place. Residents forced to let green grass go brown and water houseplants very carefully.
I'm very concerned just because, I've never gone through that.
Try to keep the trees alive, but that's mostly the lawn, I think, is probably the biggest consumer of water for my house.
Yeah. Water experts say Folsom Lake is on track to reach its lowest levels ever. A lake bed so dry it's picked for hidden treasure, with the true treasure of rain still nowhere in sight. There are no cows in San Francisco's Bernal Heights neighborhood, so somebody took to tipping cars.
And I said, well, we should put it back. He goes, don't put it back because the owner won't know what happened. And I was like, I am the owner.
4 cars were flipped overnight within 10 blocks of each other, all of them eco-friendly smart cars. 2 on their sides, 1 on the roof, and 1 resting on its bumper facing straight up into the sky. Confusing a compass, creating a local tourist attraction, and ending this rabbit's foot run of good luck. And one witness says he saw the pack of hooded hoodlums in action.
I thought they looked like they were up to no good, and then sure enough, they walk up to this smart car right here, all huddle around it, and then just lift it up and set it on its hind legs.
These smart cars can weigh as little as 1,600 pounds, less than half of your average car, and for a few guys to tip one over, no big deal. This YouTube video shows a group of guys flipping a smart car with ease. Shelley isn't actually the car owner. She was watching it for a friend after her father died. We spoke to her by phone.
What these people don't realize is that, they're adding to the stress of losing, a parent.
So even if all this started as a prank with small cars replacing sleeping cows, no one around here is laughing. And since now it's considered a crime, it really wasn't that smart either. Developing news out of Santa Barbara, where police say a drive-by shooter went on a rampage near the UC Santa Barbara campus. 7 people are dead. Last night in the area of Isla Vista neighborhood was sprayed with bullets. It's an area known for numerous student parties. The sheriff believes the suspect was acting alone. He is among the dead, and another 7 people are hurt. Authorities still trying to establish a motive. Witnesses describe the scene as chaotic and it came out of nowhere.
I think one girl was shot dead. The other girl was shot as well, but I think she's at the hospital. First time I saw it, I just ran away from my life, so I don't know any details.
Police say the suspected shooter exchanged gunfire with deputies before crashing into a parked car. It's not clear whether he was hit by the gunfire or died from self-inflicted wound. One of the main defendants in the corruption scandal involving State Senator Leland Yee is getting an unusual show of support. KPIX5's Kristen Ayers shows us a fundraiser to free the man known as Shrimp Boy. Chow is still in federal custody. His attorneys say they'll be asking for a bail hearing in the next few weeks. He died more than a year ago, but were left at the county morgue. As Stacey Butler reports, those vets should have been buried, but instead were forgotten. The LA County morgue blames the VA for the oversight. A VA spokesperson says the morgue never contacted them about the issue. A Bay Area man is paying the price for having a popular name. On the Consumer Watch, Julie Watt shows us how a case of mistaken identity led to some major tax trouble. Smith has had some other troubling times with his name. He's had wages garnished for someone else's back child support, and he was arrested and put in the back of a cop car until police pulled a mugshot proving his innocence. If you have a consumer problem, go to kpix.com and send us an email. An ex-Oakland cop is under investigation. He's been collecting thousands of dollars in disability. At the same time, he's been performing dangerous and physically demanding work for the FBI. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says he has the support of the required 3/4 team owners to force Sterling to sell.
The people who can afford a $10 million yacht in the first place are probably doing all right.
Doing all right.
You could probably get a second one.
Hopefully they salvage the champagne.
Yeah,
They're gonna
that would
need
make
it.
them feel a little better. Well, thanks for